was into English. When I was in high school, all my classes were all advanced. And I just like to read. And as time went by, you tend to kind of, stop doing that because of, things going on. But um, I want to get back into it. I want to just like throw my TV out the door.
Yeah.
It's good for like some things like you watch every once in a while, but it doesn't, build you like a
Yeah.
book does, and it doesn't take you on another adventure like a book does, because a book has all the details where a movie just kind of, skip past a few seasons and maybe 4 or 5 chapters you didn't even know that exist.
Hmm. Yeah. So, can you see my screen?
Oh, hold on 1 second.
So you can see what I have up on the screen. I'm looking at my Word paragraphs.
Let me see. Hmm.
Are we recording?
Yeah. Yeah. I had to switch from the phone. The phone doesn't record.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Um, no, I'm not able to see what you have up there.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah. I thought you were showing me something, like the book.
No, I wanted to see where I had my, okay, I found it. So the books that I have written
Mhm.
are all there's 9 different genres in 11 books. I wrote 10, my sister wrote 1 on the website. The genres are the memoirs, parenting, relationships, children's education, fairy tales, bullying, anti-bullying, original quotes, spirituality, and breast cancer. I'm a an 11-year breast cancer survivor and a 10-year stroke survivor.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big step.
Thank you. Didn't have chemo. I had radiation and
Yeah,
surgery.
my mom didn't want to do because she has breast cancer. She had it and she didn't want to do it because she's a nurse. So
Mm.
she was just like, I'm not doing any of this and I'm not doing this. And I guess
Yes.
there's a pill or something that you could take. And that's what she did, was the pill.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
they gave me tamoxifen, and
Tamoxifen.
that gave me the stroke.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 11 years, and I felt fine the whole time. My son said, "You had breast cancer, you act like nothing happened. You had a stroke, you acted like nothing happened." I felt like nothing happened.
Right.
So I always act the way I feel.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to feel like that in this type of world.
Yeah, you
Um
got that right.
so your books, they kind of play a part in your life, so to speak, right? So
Yes, they
when
do.
you started writing like the bullying and the anti-bullying, was that an experience you had when you
No,
were
the reason why I wrote that, I don't know if you've heard the
Mhm.
word bully side.
Mm-mm.
Not a lot of people have, but
Mhm.
I heard that word and it
Mhm.
really just made my blood run cold. That is the definition of bullycide is a child commits suicide as a result of bullying. And I thought that was the ugliest word I've ever heard, bullycide. So uh,
Mm.
this is what prompted me to write this book. And it's 25 poems. What's your name?
Stacy.
Stacy. Stacy, uh, 25 poems. It came to me, it's like God poured it into me and it came out through my fingertips. So I wrote these 25 poems in about a half an hour.
Oh wow.
Yes, for children. But like I told you, my best subject is English.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. So I wrote 25 poems, and then I put what I'm calling no words in there. I don't know if you can see it. And it's backwards. So
No, I can see it. It's front where it says intolerance.
okay, good. I'm glad
Yeah,
to hear that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see that.
So and then the poem that's opposite the page that really doesn't have anything to do necessarily with the word itself. So these are not totally together. So, but this word is by itself and this poem can stand by itself.
Yeah, I saw that when I was looking at your book before. Where's Dear Bully?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started to read it. Yeah, because my son was going through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was coming home like, I don't want to go back to school and I don't want to do this. So it was like every morning we had to have positive affirmations. We had to go through the Bible and talk about certain things that were going on in the Bible and how people got through certain things. And, this is how life is because, you raise your children to be sweet and loving and
Yes.
all of that. And then they get older, they go to school and they find children that are just absolutely just like their
Terrible.
parents. No, they pick
Mm-hmm.
up all the things that their parents are, you send your kids to bed and you're like off doing stuff that you think your kids aren't listening to, but they can hear through the walls and then they pick it up, they take it back to school. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, or you neglect your children, one of those situations. That's why we had like one of our episodes where we were talking about moms that take better care of their husbands or their boyfriends before they take care of their children.
Yeah, there are those.
Yeah, and those children who suffer from that sort of neglect or the boyfriend become abusive towards the child or become sexually molesting the child.
Yeah.
Now the child goes to school and now they are subjected to a certain type of mannerism now.
Yeah, and trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
So they put that off, and that's why I don't blame the bully themselves, but they put that off on that stress when they see a child that's like, oh,
Yeah.
you have both your parents? I don't. Oh, I hate that kid. He doesn't. Let's pick on him. He's like, smart and he sits there and he reads all day. And my poor little innocent boy was just coming home just like, Mom. And then he starts building up some sort of aggression that wasn't there before.
Uh-huh.
And they start learning to bully each other because I have twins. And so now they're like starting to fight each other. And I'm just like,
How old are they?
they're 9.
Mm-hmm.
So they start picking up all of these things and I'm on it. I'm like paying attention to them. I'm watching them and see how they interact with each other.
Yeah.
And you pick up on it and you're just like, you call the school and the school's like, there's not much we can do when it happens because the kids weren't doing it until after they got off the bus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, they don't want me to go to the bus because the counselor's like, well, maybe if you want to go to the bus stop. I was like, no, I'm like Mama Bear. If I go to the bus stop, I'll follow those kids to their mama's house and be like, excuse me, your
Mm-hmm.
child's being rude to my child. So what are you going to do about it? Because if you don't do something about it, I'm going to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I just figure for the next couple of weeks until their dad come, I'll just pick them up from school, you know. But in the meantime, I'm rebuilding what this child has broken from my child, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I teach him, positive affirmations, how to be a stronger person, how to recognize certain things and how to deal with the stuff, because pretty much that's all the counselor said you could probably do for right now is how to have the child build himself. Because, when you're teaching your children, you teach your children to treat people how you want to be treated.
Exactly. The golden rule. I have a book on that one too. The limitless golden rule. 21 ways to use the golden rule in your life.
Oh, see,
It's
that's
43 pages. Look at that.
Yeah. See, these are the books that kids need nowadays, and these books should be in the Scholastic, because I just took the kids to the book fair And they went through every single, and I was looking at the books too. And this was at school. And I was like, the boys were like, I don't see anything that like interests me.
Mm.
I was looking at the books. I was like, oh, this would be cool. Colin Kaepernick wrote a book, so I was like, oh, I want to see what's in that.
Yes, I have another one, children's education. It is called The Vision, telling kids that they can make the world a better place. And I think that children are very smart and
Yes.
they can do this. And I really do think that it's the children that are going to lead us out of this mess, because these young people are starting to realize that the world is going to be left to them and they don't want the mess that we're handing to them, and they're trying to straighten it out. And that's what I say in The Vision. It's about two little slaves who are enslaved people who are in the barn at night, and the boy has just gotten beaten because he was trying to learn how to read. And the little girl says, not all white folks is mean and evil and stuff like that, you know. So they're talking in slave narrative form. And the boy just got beaten, and the girl is telling him that her sister has visions, and that's why it's called The Vision, telling kids that they can make the world a better place. Her sister has visions, and she sees far into the future that the children are going to start being smarter, and the white folks are going to, that all the kids are going to help in making this world a better place. And it really is the end of the book. There are two kids who tell the story. They play the slaves. And at the end of the book, all the kids stand up and applaud. So that's The Vision, telling kids that they can make the world a better place. And it also has a home contract and a school contract. The kid has to sign that he or she is going to do better in all these subjects. And I have check marks for every subject. And I have the last one is everything. So they can choose everything they're going to do better in and sign it, get the teacher to sign it, get a couple of classmates to sign it, and they have permission to remind the student of the commitment to do better.
Wow. So how do you get these books into places like that, like into the school? Because there was another lady that wrote a book about her struggle with her children that had ADHD. And I had her on the show as well. And I was just so intrigued by the book. And I was like, this book is not just for anybody that has ADHD. And she was like, yeah, I've been fighting that to, and you know, we live in a society where we create everyone who has ADHD. I could have it next week just because of my tendency to be doing like 50 different things at once and just rewiring my brain into stuff like that. But if we could put these things where people are doing actual research and, you know, in order to create it, this would be a great thing to put into that, those book fairs and, you know, just out there for people to see and retrain everybody, because there's a lot of people that are not going to be on that level at all. But then in the end, they don't realize that you might set your kids up for a great future, but if they don't have a whole village around them, they're going to be isolated.
Exactly. So yeah, so I've gotten all these books, and I'm on social media promoting them. I have
What
one.
websites and what social media are you on?
I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't post to Instagram as often as I could or should or whatever, but I don't feel that I get a lot of positive feedback from Instagram. So I may try it again, but I still have my account. So mainly I post to Facebook and Twitter.
Oh, okay. Instagram's more like a visual thing where you probably, if you could recreate those situations into a cartoon, that would probably be like a big thing for Instagram, because I was looking at some apps that uh, recreate some of stuff into a cartoon. Because anytime you go on Instagram, it's basically people just scrolling at pictures or watching videos. It's kind of like the other level of YouTube.
Oh, TikTok too. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So yeah, but Instagram is like you were saying, it's more visual. I think Twitter and Facebook, you can count on people to read what your text says.
Yeah.
That's what I've experienced.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
What are the names, or how, if somebody wanted to look at your book, what are your TikTok names? How would they reach you?
Okay, on TikTok, I'm JJ Fields and the number 7. JJ Fields 7.
Uh-huh.
On Twitter, I'm at Good Short Books. And on Facebook, I'm Joyce Fields. And I'm also Good Short Books on Facebook. So.
Oh, okay.
And I also have a book entitled The Best Way to Keep a Man Is to Let Him Go, among other things.
Oh, that would be for me.
Yeah, my husband and I have been together for 65 years.
I believe it.
We have been married for 55 years. We celebrated our 55th wedding anniversary on June 3rd.
I always think like the best people to get advice from when it comes to relationship are people who have been doing it for 70 odd years. And there are people that go to school to teach certain things, and you ask them questions and they'll give you textbook answers,
Mm-hmm.
but then they're not really fulfilling some of their own things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And for me, I'm 45 years old. I don't have a relationship. Mine always ended with us being disconnected. And well, for me, it's just like when someone disconnects, it's because once you disconnect or you're not doing your part, I just give up altogether. I just move on to I've got like 3 other things that I'm already doing, going to school, working. So I get enthralled in my own issues, and I don't do the fight. Like for you, I'm pretty sure in your relationship with your husband, you guys have your little bitty struggles, but you guys still come back together and be like, oh, so is that how you think it really is?
Yeah, it is. My whole thing is this too shall pass. Whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is, whatever the challenge is, it's going to be gone pretty soon. So yeah. why use harsh words and physical stuff when you're going through anything? This too shall pass. So my whole thing is this. The shit happens, you get pissed off, then you get over it. That's 3 steps. So the shit happens, jump to number 3. Don't mess with number 2. Jump to number 3. Get over it. Get through it. Right. Don't linger in step 2.
Right.
Yeah. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Don't linger in step 2. And you make an intentional decision to be argumentative. Takes 2. That saying is older than I am. It takes 2. Just shut up. One or the other of you can shut up.
That's usually the problem with the couples nowadays. Everybody wants to have the last word.
That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It is just absolute stupidity. Why? It's almost like putting ice on your flower bed.
Ice on the flower bed?
Yeah. Beautiful things can come up, but you're putting ice on top of it.
I don't know. My mom used to put ice on her flower bed.
Oh, so now I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, she would have these plants, And she, because it was summertime and she would work 12-hour shifts at a hospital, so
Mhm.
she would put ice on the, what is it, on the soil, so it
Oh,
slowly
I see.
drips
So
into it.
the water melts and so okay, but now let me see, I gotta find another analogy. I didn't know that that was a thing. So it's like, I don't know. Okay. I got to come up with something, Stacy.
No, I got the ice on a flower bed. It's just slowly dripping.
Yeah.
That's just sitting there slowly dripping until somebody gets crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Floods
And I
over.
think that
Yeah.
it's slowly dripping until saturation comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so tell me the name of your book, this one that you have. Do you have a picture of that one?
The best way to keep a man is let him go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love the cover.
Oh yeah. I love the red.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had it professionally done. And when they showed me the rendering, I almost fell off my chair. I just love this cover.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. And it's 64 pages, which includes 22 pages of my own recipes. The last chapter is the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And that saying is older than I am too. And it's true.
And it's true. It's
Yes.
definitely true.
Still true
Yep.
today.
Yep.
All these girls, they take pride in not cooking, not wanting to cook, don't know how to cook. Take pride in that.
I stopped cooking after my twins' dad. I stopped cooking towards the time that we were breaking up. I stopped cooking because I was like,
Ah,
yeah. And then after a while, his mom was like, "Do you not know how to cook?" I said, "No, I'm on strike." I stopped cooking.
ah,
He got way too used to it and just got really spoiled. And I was just like, no, I'm good. It's just because I was doing a lot, going to school and working and coming home, taking care of the twins and stuff. So it was like, that's it. So now I had to get back into my cooking nature, because when you start to separate from somebody, then you start to like trying to reconnect with your old self of like throwing
yeah.
down in the kitchen and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, in this day and age too, you could ask like the way, our equality, men will come in the kitchen with you too, and they'll throw down.
Mm-hmm. I don't want my husband in the kitchen.
Why did I have a feeling you were going to say that? So, when you do your research, or do you do any research, or you don't need to do any research when you're
I
writing
don't
the
need
book?
to do any research. I've lived it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. That was another question I was going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how important was professional editing to your book's development?
I'm a professional proofreader as well.
Nice. So, did you have to go to school for that, or you just go
I'm
back?
a trained stenographer. Uh, yeah, I'm a trained stenographer. That was, and I graduated from the High School of Commerce in Detroit, Michigan, which was at that time the best school for girls. It was mostly girls, and they taught commerce. We were sales clerks, um, court reporters, and I was a stenographer. Shorthand, typing, English, all of that.
That explains your writing speed.
Yeah, it
Wow.
does. God has gifted me, Stacy, with the ability to be succinct. I can say a whole lot in a few words. Therefore, my books are not long. I don't like authors that take forever to describe whatever it is. They'll
Yeah,
take almost like a half a page to describe something. I can't tolerate that kind of writing. I want you to get to the point.
I
Get
get you.
to the point. What is the point? And so that is the way that I write. My college English professor, she's dead now. She fell down the stairs and broke her neck.
Oh God.
And as a result of that, she died. But at any rate, she was really good. She told me long time ago that when she gave out assignments, when the students turned assignments back in, she
Mhm.
saved my stuff for the last thing that she proofread or that she examined or whatever, scored or whatever it was that she was
Mhm.
doing. She saved my writings for last because it was like her dessert. That's what she said.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a compliment when teachers say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, this is how I know, like, I feel like I was on the right track with my writing because the teacher put us in groups, my advanced, and I ended up writing stories for everyone in my group because everybody was either busy or whatever. And, it was all one grade. And I wrote it. And then the teacher called me up and she was like, how is it that everyone got an A on their writing and you got a B? And she's like, did you write this for everybody? And I was like, I started laughing. I can't really lie. So I was just like laughing and I just kind of took my paper and walked back. And they were like, what did you get? And I was like, I got a B. And they're like, you wrote our paper. I said, yeah, I started off with your guys' paper first. I wrote it first. And then my paper, it was like a short story, maybe about 5 pages each. So I wrote theirs first and then I wrote mine like last. There was three of us in the whole group.
Mhm.
So I just remember my teacher like giving me that look like I know you wrote this. Like she knew that yeah. So that's always a compliment too because in my art class, we wrote another paragraph and I was like the oldest person in this art class.
I was the oldest person in my English class.
Yeah, yeah. So you know the feeling. So when the teacher's like, I'm gonna read this paper because I feel like this is the best paper. And then when he was done reading, I was like, oh my God, the teacher just read my paper. And then he walks over to me and he puts it on the desk. And I was like, I am so embarrassed. I just didn't know he was gonna read my paper. And one of the girls, they raised their hands and she was like, well, I didn't know this was like an English class. I thought this was an art class. And she's like, the teacher looked at her and was just like, did you not take English? This is a college class. And I just remember one of the girls that I started befriending, she's like, great job. And I was like, I'm so embarrassed. But it's a big compliment for me to actually get recognized by our teachers when you're
Yeah.
doing big things like that. And I'm telling you, when I thought that paper was just a basic paper that I would have wrote in high school, and I was surprised.
Mhm. And
So
when I went to college in the 1970s, and I was the oldest one, like you said, I was the oldest one in the class. I was
mhm.
in my 30s, and what I was going to say, I was in my 30s. Oh, and and the students were teenagers, 19 and early 20s, like that.
Mhm.
Yep. So I was the oldest one, and it didn't bother me a bit. I was the oldest.
Yeah, yeah. Like you actually were teaching the kids that were sitting there next to you. I mean, you'll have some kids that are like pretty advanced, but the other ones, especially for an art class, they're just there to get like an easy A, they think.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
think,
Exactly.
but the class is a little bit more advanced. Um, I think I only had like one question. Are these books self-published? Your books?
Yes, ma'am. They are. I sent them off. I did the manuscript for Mother's Dozen, an easy recipe for raising great kids.
Mm-hmm.
That one is how many pages? I got it written down. I can't memorize all this stuff. I've written so many books.
Do you have the book? Do you have a picture of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also had that one translated into Spanish, and it's Madre Docena.
Oh,
Here's the
gracias.
book, Mother's Dozen, an easy recipe for raising great kids.
I need that one.
Yeah.
I need all of them.
Yeah. They really, they range in price from $7.99 to $12.99. And they're also ebooks from $1.99 to $2.99.
So where would we be able to find those books out? Like,
Good. It's
mhm.
goodshortbooks.com. The website is goodshortbooks.com. And we just had the website redesigned. And
Okay.
I don't know if you can go there while we're on the Zoom or not.
Um, I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
okay, well,
will
just don't
go.
don't try it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I don't know, but I will actually go look for those. But you don't have it like on uploaded on Amazon yet.
Oh yeah, they're on Amazon. They're
Oh,
all
they're
on,
on
on
Amazon.
Amazon as well, but you have to know the titles
Okay.
to but you probably can put in my name.
Yeah, I was gonna
So here's
say
another one.
Amazon.
A breast cancer journey to greater joy, taking the fear and mystery out of a breast cancer diagnosis. That's a picture of me at 72 years old.
That's you?
Yes,
I was gonna say they got a young picture up there on you.
I'm 72 on this picture.
Wow. Look at those legs.
Everybody talks about my legs.
So, so- we some real shit. I noticed the
Yeah,
legs.
yeah. So that's that one. Then I have my simple quotes to live by. It's 167 quotes that I coined.
Uh-huh.
And Stacy, I coined my first quote, unbeknownst to me that I was coining a quote.
Uh-huh.
And it's in the middle school paper, documented
Oh
everything.
wow.
And my quote said, never lose your hope and faith. I was 15 years old when I said that. And they wrote it down. Never lose your hope and faith. And that has carried me through all my years, 78 years old. That carried me through breast cancer, that carried me through a stroke. I never lose my hope and faith. That's all you have, really.
I think Cheryl Lee Ralph also pointed your phrase when she won her
Yeah,
award
yeah.
in, yeah, right?
I saw that. Ooh, girl, ooh, I
I
can't even say enough about that.
I got chills. I got
Me too.
chills. Yeah.
Oh my God. And I even get chills thinking about it. When she opened her mouth and that note came out, I said, whoa,
Yeah.
oh my
Hmm.
God. So she sure deserved it. But
Yeah.
yes, you just never, and one of the quotes in the book was chosen out of over 5,000 entries, Stacy, for a calendar, 2013 calendar. And that quote states, it's better to die chasing a dream never caught than to die never having chased the dream.
That's beautiful.
And I put that on social media to encourage people to chase
Hold
the
on one
dream.
second. If we get disconnected, just log back into the same, just click that same link again.
Yeah.
And then so that way you can do like the second half of it. But it'll shut off in a second.
Okay.
We got like 1 minute and 31 seconds. I haven't upgraded my Zoom yet, because I'm kind of thinking whether or not I should do Zoom or I should do this other platform, which is called StreamYard.
Ah,
Yeah, so I need to upgrade because I need to go longer with my interviews because people have a lot to say.
how about
And
Google Meet?
I don't know if they record. Do they record?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing I gotta look into. If they
Mm-hmm.
record it that way, because I'm gonna start my YouTube page and I'm gonna put this on the YouTube, but then I have to edit, throw a little bit like of your books. Like when you send me pictures of the books, I'll have like a bigger picture of it while you're talking. So that way people can actually see it, a picture of your website. I'm trying to create a whole movie thing out of it. So
Oh,
yeah, just
okay.
just gotta launch it and get that situated.
Okay, here's
It's,
another one. Jet Black and her 7 friends. It's all about a little girl, little African-American girl who doesn't like to go to school anymore because she's being teased because she's very, very tall for her age. So she goes to sleep one night and she's taken on a magical journey by her Asian fairy godmother.
oh,